Consolidated Outlands Mustang Delta. A reasonable looking light fighter with, on paper, decent stats. Now, I'm going to throw out some solid numbers here because of a weird problem I have with this ship. On paper, it has the same shields as the Hawk, which is my favorite fighter, personally, to fly. And it does 200 more DPS than the Gladius. But there's something about the Mustang Delta that when you fly it feels kind of flaccid. It's almost as if it's just not as good as it's supposed to be. Now, I think part of that is that it doesn't have any missiles. So you can't take down targets quite as quickly as you can with the majority of the other fighters. It also has no EMP like the Hawk, really no bells and whistles at all. The design of it is also kind of awkward. The wings look like a little broken bird's wings. The rocket pack, which is the right click, does 500 of the DPS that it does on paper, but the projectile nature of it makes it feel as though it's harder to hit, and you have to lead the target a little more than the reticle even suggests. All of these factors together, and a surprisingly not agile thing, make the Mustang Delta kind of unpleasant to fly and fight in. It's not completely useless. I was able to win fights in it, and I suspect you will be able to as well. But for surprisingly decent stats on paper, it feels a lot like a starter ship, not like a dedicated fighter. And if it were a starter ship, it does not hold cargo. It only holds boxes, I think, if you cheese it into the cockpit somehow. Some people seem to be convinced that there's a way to do that. I, myself, have never done it. And I just can't really stress enough how much I didn't like the flying of it. Now, of course, try it for yourself, always. Everyone will have a different opinion when they fly ships, and people's favorite ship will ultimately be their favorite just because they like flying it specifically the most and the way it feels, not because of what is written on the paper or why. But I think you two are going to find that because you lose a 30 or DPS with the rocket pad and it's less than instantaneous fire, and the complete lack of missiles, you're going to find yourself wishing that you were just in a different ship.